Welcome to episode 6 of the Anytime Fitness podcast, Sweat the Big Stuff. I'm delighted to be joined today by Eishi. Eishi, thank you for being our special guest today. How are we doing?
I'm good, thank you, and thanks for inviting me.
You are more than welcome. There's lots we're going to get stuck into today. So I think a great starting point. We've been working together now for over a year. Lots has happened in that time, so there's lots of things that we're gonna get stuck into today. But Eishi, just for the listeners, tell us a bit about yourself and your journey to becoming a franchisee.
Yeah, so I mean, we've spoken about this so much when I first joined the network, but my background is heavy in corporate. I was a business analyst, and to say the least, it wasn't fulfilling for me. And my journey to AF has been, I would say, the right step forward for me and what I wanted to do in my life. And I'm at the place now where I can confidently say I'm exactly where I want to be. So, you know, I've made a lot of sacrifices along the way. One of the big ones being selling my house, and making the right decision at that time for me was exactly that. So I'm looking forward to sharing my experience with you and letting you know how I feel about opening my very first club. So, yeah.
I know how excited you are, and exactly right as well. It's been a great journey that you've been on, and I think there'll be people that have thoughts about opening their own gym and that have never worked in the industry before, or that's had that corporate journey like you have. Was there a moment where you thought, I want to open my own gym, or was it more generally for you wanted to run your own business when you were doing that business analyst role?
Yeah.
What was the thought process?
I think literally for me, I woke up one night and I was like, I don't want to do this. I have 2 young kids, and when am I spending time with them? When am I seeing them? I'm not. I'm going to work. Val's going to work. And it just became like, and by the way, no disrespect to anyone who really enjoys doing that. Absolutely fine. I personally, for myself, it just wasn't what I wanted to do. Yeah. And I just knew I was capable of more. And going into work and coming back, and I was like, you know what, I could do more than this. And I knew, because I had initially had my taster of a franchise I'd previously bought. And I was like, right, I really enjoy being my own boss, and I love this, and I love working for myself and putting things in motion, seeing things come alive. And yeah, that was probably the moment for me. I woke up and I was like, okay, I'm ready to make this huge change, because it's now or like never. So yeah, that was my moment where I was like, right, I'm not enjoying this. I don't want to do this. I need to do something more. I've got one chance now while I'm here. What's it going to be?
Wow.
Yeah.
I think lots will be able to resonate with that.
Yeah.
In that it's the opportunity, whether you've got children or not. I think children plays a big part in it. I understand that myself, the quality of time and having a level of flexibility to be able to spend that time with 100%. Them. And as we talked about off air, it's a full-time job in itself, keeping up with the school emails and the different things that go on there. So you don't want to miss those magic moments within your seeing your family grow up. But I think it's also, what I think's true of so many people is doing something that not only makes you money, because that's of course important to do all the things in life that you want to, but something that's meaningful, and creates a real purpose in a community. So Eishi, fitness is something I know that you were passionate about before making the step to join Anytime Fitness, but I understand from chats we've had in the past, you were looking at other brands, you were looking at food related brands. What was the due diligence process for you when you were looking at different brands, and had you thought about opening a gym up to that point?
So no, funnily enough, that didn't cross my mind until we kind of went away and went to all these different types of events where you could see different franchises available to you. And I was like, no matter what it's going to be, it has to be something well worth my time and money.
Yeah.
So, I like came home and Bal was like, have you thought about it? Like, do you know what you want? I was like, no. And then I sat on like the BFA website because one thing I knew, I wanted it to be approved on the BFA website. And I'm scrolling and there was other gyms on there actually. And I was just like, hang on a minute, I never thought about a gym. And then I had like a tab open and there was like 10 different like types of franchises on there. And then I scrolled through them one by one. I was like, okay. And then I was kind of deleting the ones. I was like, no. I looked at like Fireways, like pizza, whatever else. I was like, no, absolutely not. Then I looked at something else. I was like, no. Then when I got to like the fitness part of the BFA website, I kind of did like a filter. And then I was like, oh, okay, let me have a look and see. I knew someone that owned like a Jets as well. So I was like, okay, there is somebody we do know that does own one. So maybe there must be something in it. So then I came across Anytime and I was like, oh my God, like I've seen Anytime, but never really, there's not one local to me. So I've never had a chance to train in one or go to the gym where I've go to an Anytime.
Sure.
And I was like, you know, I've got nothing to lose at this point. So I'm just going to put an inquiry form in. And that's when I met Gemma, and the rest is history after I met her, because to the point where I was like, I'm not sure yet I want to do fast food. And then I was like, actually, do you know what? I like going to the gym. So why would I not invest in something that I like doing personally myself? Because how much McDonald's am I realistically going to eat? Like I'm just saying, like I'm probably not. And I'm not even going to eat this much food, but do I like working out? Yeah. 4 times a week. Like I was a pure gym member, like for better half of what I know, Simply gym member as well before I moved house. And then I was like, I had really, really good first conversation with her. And I was like, you know, when you feel something and you're like, I think there's something here.
Sure.
And
did you feel that quite early, Ishi?
Initially, I was like, because I hadn't thought about it. It was new. So it wasn't like talking to someone who does a fast food chain is not worried about you more than they're worried about themselves. And that's what I found as well.
Fine.
With fast food is I'm just a number to them, essentially. Like, oh, you know, you want to be a franchisee? Sure, there's about 1,000 other people who want to be franchisees as well. And I think when I first spoke to Gemma, I was like, you know what? I want to have another conversation. I want to understand the financials behind this. How do you make a gym work? It's 24 hours. Who is looking after it? Like, how does the staffing work? Like, and when I came back and like gave Bal a bit of feedback, he was like, oh my God, I didn't think about owning a gym. Like, we don't know anyone who owns one except for the Jets. So we know lots of people who own restaurants and
sure.
Even nurseries, to the point where we know people have owned a franchise, but never on that side of the fence. So one meeting led to my second one led to my third one. And then my third one led to me signing. So yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I think digging into that experience, you've gone into detail on the meetings about your return on investment, how the territories work and how we would rank different locations. Did you meet any other franchisees during that period, or have any conversations with anyone? How did that work?
So no and yes, because I wasn't the first person to speak to our humble Ari. So Bal, my husband, so you know my husband, he was having a hair. Well, he doesn't have no hair. He was having a beard trim. And Ari was having a haircut. And their barber went to school with me.
Oh, wow.
So that's
small world. I actually don't know this story.
Yeah. So there's something you don't know, Kieran. So they were at the same place at the same time. And I think Bal had been talking to the barber for a little while, like, oh, you know, we've just sold our house. Like, we don't know what we're doing. Like, we're looking for a franchise. And it just so happened to be that Ari happened to be at the same place at the same time. And then they got talking. And it was so funny because Bal's trying to explain to Ari, like, my wife's doing so-and-so. And he's like, well, why am I talking to you? Let me talk to Eishdeep if she's the one opening it. And then we met him at the baseball game.
Yes.
So that was the first time I had met him after speaking to him for a little while. And then I was like, oh yeah, this is what I'm looking at. My initial territory, I think he still has me on his phone saved as Windsor. I was like, you might want to change that now.
Because that was your first territory.
Yeah, that was what I first pinned. It was Windsor. And and after speaking to him after that event, honestly, it solidified any doubts I had in my mind. I was like, actually, you know what? I've made the right decision. And if it takes long, because I'm sure we'll get into it, but the initial stage of finding something and really understanding your territory and going through that process, I was probably longing up your phone and being like, Kieran, it's not happening. Kieran, I don't know what I'm doing. Kieran, it's taken 2 hours to get here. Like, I know that part is probably the most painful part.
Yeah.
And, but when you're there and you've gone over that hurdle, it's so different from there. And, but yeah, I think he was probably the first person I spoke to, and he really made me feel good about my decision. And then I saw a bunch of people in that room that had just opened a club, looking at their pre-sales. I think Gerrard's Cross was just opened as well.
Yeah, we did a review that day of their opening, didn't we?
So it was good, and it was good to see that actually that's local to me. And I think Ruislip already existed at this point. Yes. So I had clubs local to me, and I was like, oh, this is really good. And at this point, I hadn't had my key fob sent to me yet. So I was like, okay, I can't go on a full rampage.
You were only... correct me if I'm wrong, you were a couple of days in at that point,
weren't you? I think I signed a week ago.
Yeah. And you were there on that Saturday. And I think while you're exploring any brand, I think there's a number of things that are important, I'm sure, to every franchisee. But I've dealt with so many franchisees now, and I take great pride in the relationships that we build together. Having that chance to explore the franchise from the perspective of a franchisee who is doing that day to day, running their own business, having all of the elements that are exciting, the enjoyable bits, but the challenging parts as well. You used the word, it solidified your decision. I think it can really do that when you know that no one from another franchisee perspective has got anything to gain by giving you misinformation. How they're going to tell you how it is, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, that's really important. And it was for me is which challenge am I willing to accept that it's not going to be good? So if I have picked Anytime Fitness, am I willing to accept that there will be bad days and there will be good days? And when I look at it from that perspective, I'm like, do you know what? Whatever it throws at me, I'm happy to take it on board and move on the next day or find a solution for it to be. Yeah. But I'm willing to do that because it's something I want to invest my time in, my money, blood, sweat, and tears, whatever you want to put. I'm happy to invest it in because I believe in the brand. Yeah. And I think recently, obviously, we were just talking about Boston. It really made me believe that if you believe in something, what makes you think it can't work? Yeah. Because if I don't believe in it and I'm walking into it and I'm like, oh, I'm just going to make some money, actually it doesn't work like that. Yeah. I need to have trust that I'm selling something to someone that I personally would use myself. Yeah. So, yeah.
And fitness as a product broadly is something that you are hugely committed to. But it's the brand that you do that and the delivery of that. There's a number of different operators, and it's choosing the right one for yourself. Yeah. You mentioned Boston there. I think that would be that's a good place to go to now. I think not literally, but a good place to have a conversation about. Well, tell us about it. It was cold. What was the Anytime Fitness conference like for you, and how was that experience? And for those that don't know about that, we do conferences here in the UK for our franchisees, which we were talking about that you came to last summer. How does that global conference work, and what experience did you get from it, Eishi?
It was an eye-opener for me, and especially the strength of the brand. I was sat in a room which was just purple lit. People were dressed in purple. I had to wear a purple wig at some point. You probably saw it on LinkedIn.
I did, yes.
And but it just gave me so much confidence when I left. I was like, I'm in something really good, and something that a lot of people that was sat there was tons of other franchisees. I think there was 2,000 people in total. They had brought their club managers, site managers, and PTs, like head of PTs, like lots of different types of people. Like I met so many people, and I was just like, wow, like this this is like global. Like this doesn't just like whatever I see in the UK. There's a lot more to this. And it's so different to what we do here. But I have to say, no matter if I've been here to any event or I've been to now Boston, I feel good when I leave. And I think that's the main thing. I feel so good about my decision, and actually it's one of the best decisions I made. So, and it just helps me. It just gives me that boost of energy as well. I left, and the first thing I did was, I think I was back on Sunday night, first thing on Monday morning, went to the site. How are you all getting on? They're like, are you not jet lagged? Yes. I'm crying and dying inside, but I'm here because I need to say how we're getting on. Are we making progress? And see my team first thing Monday morning. How are they over the last couple of days? And the funny thing was, I was like, business just doesn't stop.
No.
But it didn't. I was still responding to emails. I was still doing stuff, and I was still enjoying myself. And I was like, what more do I want from life? I get to actually enjoy what I'm doing.
So important, isn't it? That decision to be involved with something that really means something to you, that gives you the time, but also gives you that purpose and energy. You know, you described there, I know what jet lag's like. Everyone else will as well that's travelled. It's tough, isn't it?
It is horrible.
You want to go to sleep straight away and it's all sorts of strange hours. But the fact that you were itching to get in there and dive straight in on the Monday morning after landing late on the Sunday is testament to what, how you feel about what you're doing. And it's a real crucial time for you. And I was really keen to have you as a guest. And it's slightly different to other franchisees in that you've got 2 territories committed that are at one now is at a really important stage that's about to start build. Yeah. It's to actually spend a bit more time exploring those decisions that you made and how you came to choose Anytime Fitness, because it genuinely will inspire people that are doing roles that maybe not that they don't enjoy, but they don't get that sense of purpose and meaning out of. So great that you enjoyed that experience.
Yeah, that's really good.
And I'm sure there were other people there that have come from the same sort of corporate background into franchising. And you mentioned off camera to me that there was that the majority of people you spoke to had 2, 3, 4 clubs
minimum. Like I came back and I was just like, 2, 3 is just not going to cut it. Like there's got to be like at least got to aim higher as much as
heightened your ambition now.
Like, I spoke to a few franchisees and it wasn't a case of, I have 1 club and it's doing really well. It was, I have 4 solid clubs and they all do really well and I'm looking at a 5th. And I was just like, oh my God, what?
Amazing.
And I guess America is obviously very different to where we are here in the UK, where they just have lots of land and property available at their feet. And, I think for us, we have to look for it, search for it, find the right one. And we have to go through a lot of hoops to get confirmation and be like, okay, yeah, this is going to be a really good site. But it just gave me a lot of faith in, okay, I don't have to stop at 2 to 3. I can have more. I can have them further away from me. The world is my oyster. I can really just have as many as I can cope with effectively.
Good for you. Yeah. And I think your character can cope with a lot, definitely. You're very tenacious, very positive. And I think that leads me on nicely to the next part of your journey, really. We digress slightly with Boston, but I think that's definitely good to hear how you and what you gained from that experience, Eishi. With regards to after you've signed, so you had a week with us, you came in, we had a great day at the Major League Baseball, Olympic Stadium, and you got to hear from us and meet a lot of franchisees on the day. What's the journey been like since then? Talk about the property acquisition. Let's really talk about how that worked for you.
So I think to date, that's probably been the most challenging, just finding the right place. Because you know what, if you have the right site, everything else just comes in like a straightforward path. Literally Dorothy walking in Wizard of Oz on that yellow brick line. Like it really does, once you have the right property.
Good analogy.
And I think that part, looking for something, and I think just not giving up, because you and me both know I found something and then it didn't go the way we wanted it to go, which is fine. I'm not going to win the first thing I throw out. So it's absolutely fine. But it was kind of just like I sat down and I was just like, right, there can't be nothing available. The world is lying to me. All these websites, Loopner, Rightmove, they hated me because I was on there clearing my cache like every 24 hours. They're like, she's back again. She's not finding what she needs.
There she is.
Yeah. And one day I literally just sat down. I was like, right, no, there's got to be something. I'm adamant there's something. And I was literally telling you, I remember literally sending you that email. I think I'm going to frame that email because I had like 7 points on there on completely different areas, stuff I hadn't even pinned, lots of different properties. And I remember Acton being the last one on that list. And I was like, oh, by the way, Kieran, I know someone else has it, but if they want to look, there's a property available. And like when you said to me, when I got a response from you, you were like, thank you, let me have a look. You were like, this is not pinned. And I was like, all I saw was a light bulb. I was like, okay, right, maybe I found something here then if it's not pinned. And I think that kind of was crucial for me, was the not giving up, because it's really difficult. It's really hard. And there's no way that it's easy, that first beginning part of it. But once you're out of that trench of looking and hunting, I remember going far away. We did Maidstone, Sittingbourne, like that is just, I don't even know where that is, but it was not close. And I remember coming back, be like, no, it was too far away, Kieran. I don't think I could commit to such, like, it was too long of a journey. Maidstone was a little bit long, but it was a good site. Sure. Maidstone was a really good site. And I think if I lived close by, it probably would have been a really good anytime as well. But again, I just wanted something a bit closer. And I was just like, oh my God, there's got to be something. And I think those beginning parts of those stages, looking for a property and really going drive-bys, I used to just drive around sometimes just aimlessly and be like, I'm sure there'll be something here. And looking local to my area, because I was like, there's got to be something that I will find that will be mine and it will make a really good anytime. And here we are with Acton. So yeah.
And I think, yeah, most definitely. I think real credit to you has got to go when we lost a site that was in the early instruction of legals. The lease was about to be reviewed, and you had a landlord that messed you around. And we don't need to go into the depths of all the nitty gritty there. But it was a site that you and I and the brand felt very strongly about. I think the bit that I will give you so much credit for that stood out is how you dealt with that setback. You could have quite easily got emotional about that and dwelt on that, but I think you used that as an energy. And I remember standing at Victoria Station to take a call from you. I remember it clearly, where I was stood outside the WH Smiths, and I remember you saying to me on the phone, this is going to make me work even harder. And I thought, good for you, because yes, we thought that site was going to be the one.
Yeah.
Things in life, running a business, running a gym, you wake up one morning expecting one thing, and you know what? It doesn't always go the way.
Yeah.
And the fact that you were able to get back straight onto it is why you are where you are now. And other people may not have reacted the same. So I think we're all so pleased for you to be about to start the build of your first gym. Other things have happened in the meantime. We met at the summit. There was an opportunity. I think we're gonna get into that a little bit later, but I think I want to talk about Acton Central now. So we've talked about how you've looked at different areas and different opportunities, and you landed on Acton, and it really felt like it meant to be after the disappointment of the other site. Why Acton, and what do you feel that you can do within that community to really bring the Anytime Fitness brand to life and make it a success?
So to be fair, Acton is literally 20 minutes away from me, so from where I live, and I wanted something close by where I can just jump on the train or be there in a dash if I'm ever needed. And Acton really needs an Anytime, because of the way the community's up and coming, and there's so much going on in that area as well. There's lots of high rises being built and lots of different things being done in that community. And we it's part of Ealing, and I mean, I'm born and like raised in under that council, and I think we can really make a change to where we are, and we can kind of, without sounding like I hate the other gyms, but kind of give it a bit more of an uplift, because as soon as that coming soon sign came up, like the amount of people that were like, oh wow, like we don't have a budget. We're going to have more than a budget gym here. Like we're going to have a mid-market, something we need. There is tons of budget gyms in that area. My competition is up here with me. Shall I say, I've got a David Lloyd's, I've got everything. Any leisure centre you can think of, it is in Acton. And I think where I am, where the location is, it's really going to uplift that whole area. And opposite me, I've got like local people who do printing, and then I've got a local sweet shop, and they're all willing to work together, willing to work with me. And I think we can really do something powerful there with the brand. I think the brand speaks for itself. And I mean, Chiswick is my neighbour, so we have a strong kind of presence already. Then we're like round the corner, and it just only strengthens the brand. And I think we can bring something that's not just a gym you go to, just something more family orientated. You come in, you're able to do a successful workout. You're not dealing with... You're dealing with like-minded people.
Sure.
And I think that's the biggest thing. Something clean, something fresh, something new. And honestly, that area needs it anytime.
The demographic really shows it, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it does. And it's a densely populated area with a demographic that fits the type of member in areas that we've been hugely successful before. So I think you touch on the... how local it is to you. I think that's important. You can be very hands-on in the early stages. In terms of Eishdeep's approach to fitness, how do you approach fitness? How are you going to create that feeling in the gym? How will it translate to the Anytime Fitness in Acton? Your stamp on it as the owner, really.
So me personally, like I wouldn't say I'm like this crazy fitness freak, but I have blessed my online trainer. I've done like 3 plans with him. So I understand what it feels to be a mum, just given birth, and really want to lose weight. And I think, and being Asian, because I like all that food, and all that food has grease in it. Like I can't help myself. So I think for me, what I want my customers to feel, or anyone that is a member of my gym, is what I felt when I first went into my first Anytime, which was Gerrard's Cross. I walked in and I was like, oh my God, I'm never looking back. So if my members coming can feel exactly that, where you're like, I'm not going back now, I'm only coming here, then I know I made an impact on what they're doing. And I guess me as well, being a mum of 2 and trying to lose my baby weight, and you've got all this pressure to look a certain way and be a certain way. If I can even put an ounce of someone coming into my club feeling comfortable working out despite whatever other type of people looks like, I think that would mean a lot to me, because I want all different shapes, sizes, all to come to my gym, but I want them to be comfortable coming. I don't want them to feel like, oh, I can't go to there because it's full of bodybuilders, or I can't go there, or someone's going to look at me like this. And I remember walking in to my first Anytime, and I never looked back. I used to be a pure gym member, and I don't think, no matter how far that Anytime is from me, I will go there only. I'll make sure I make it there.
And that's because you know how important the feeling is to those members, and we want our members to feel that it's inclusive, rather than that feeling of it's exclusive just to these type of very fit people, or people that look a certain way. We are member centric. It's about making sure that the members have service. It's a service led model, and we want those members to achieve great things in a really lovely environment. So you're excited about lots of things. I know you are. If I could pinpoint though one thing and put you on the spot now and say, what is the one moment or thing in general that you are excited about opening your gym?
I think before my grand opening, the day before, I'm most excited to see it personally, all myself together. I think that's going to be a moment for me. I was hoping that by my birthday, which is only 3 weeks away, that it would be somewhat in some sort of shape. So I'm hoping by the 1st of November, at least, that it's in a shape where I'm like, oh my God, like my signage is going to go up, my flooring is going to go in. Like,
we'll be underway at that point.
We will.
You'll see lots of progress from now to then.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to see the first stages just before my grand opening, because I know the commitment and I know the sacrifices taken me to get here. So yeah, everything, I'm excited about everything. I can't even pinpoint it, I don't think.
I think it's quite a difficult question, to be honest, but that moment, the day before it opens, I think when you know that your members are going to see it the next day.
I thought it was going to be a hot mess today, but I'm literally, I'm really going to be a hot mess.
Well, I can tell you're doing very well so far. So
I'm holding it, but I was like, keep it together. I'm trying. I don't think I'm probably going to cry.
You're going to be on podcasts all over the place now, I'm telling you.
But no, I don't know if I'll be able to hold it together at that point. But yeah, I can't wait to see it when it opens.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, so we talked about the experience that you want for your members, and I think that certainly counts for a lot, because that, as a brand, that's what we stand for. We want members to have that amazing experience and stay with us and continue to build that really strong reputation in communities and neighbouring communities. Speaking of which, in June of this year, there was an opportunity for you to start to have a strength in the Acton area, and you've taken an opportunity to take a pin and secure a territory for North Acton, which is your neighbouring territory. So tell us about that and what led to that decision, because you've further solidified your position now, and you committed to 2 clubs.
Do you know what? I was nothing more than excited about doing it, because it's going to be, I think I said earlier, a very different club to Acton Central. And I can't wait to see what that looks like, because that one already is shell and core. It doesn't need ripping out. It doesn't need any of that. It simply just needs a lovely build to go in. Yep. And I'm most excited about that one because it will have recovery. And that's something that I can't wait to see, because it's part of a kind of a new design phase that Anytime's going through, where that's part of the package.
Yep.
So given the size of that kind of building, I'm really looking forward to having the recovery phase in my gym. So, and that's what will make it very different to Acton Central. So I can kind of just be like, well, if you don't want this one, you can have that one, and it's more expensive.
It's a good clustering opportunity as well, I think, with the fact that your team can be active across the 2. I think it's that convenience factor for your members. Like you say, you're looking at that recovery zone in North Acton and having that recovery and wellness area compared to Acton Central. But it just means that the strong pillars of the brand are going to shine through in both areas. We're talking a 10 to 12 minute drive between the 2, so there'll be lots of residents that live between the 2. So I think that's really exciting that you've got 2 that's neighbouring. So
I think I love the fact that they're next to each other, because if I'm going to one, I could just go to the other as well. So I don't need to have to worry or think about, it's going to take me too long to get to the other site. But having my stamp on Acton Central will really then strengthen North Acton, because I can literally have a gym down the road. So, if you don't want any of that stuff, you purely want to train, then you've got that option. But if you want from start to beginning, you've got time on your hands, you've had a long day at work, then you've got that option as well. So
yeah, amazing. Really, really excited for you. And you've recruited your club manager now?
Yes, yeah. And that process has been great as well, and props to my club manager Charlie, because honestly, even it's only been a couple of weeks, but he really takes pride in his job, takes pride in his role, and he sits in a building site half the time doing his work. So he knows what's coming. So yeah, no, it's been great. And I'm really glad I recruited someone at such early stage, because it helps me, it helps them, and we kind of build something together, as opposed to me just saying, oh, here's the gym, there you go. This kind of gives him an opportunity as well to put his stamp and mark on building a team, a rapport with the members.
Most definitely. And it must be exciting now that The Instagram accounts are live. You've got your vinyls in the window. I know you sent me a WhatsApp message and you said, Kieran, look at this. And it looked super impressive.
It seemed like such a small thing. It may seem like, but honestly, it was such a big moment.
Yeah.
Because at one point we're doing prospecting and we're doing all this stuff, but it's still a restaurant. Yeah. And there was big signs that it was still a restaurant. I was like, oh, it's just putting people off. They're like, it's still a restaurant. The minute I ripped down that sign of that restaurant and put my own signage up, people were like, oh, well, we didn't know this. And I was saying, like, oddly hours of the morning, people are scanning that QR code.
You said that the printers across the road had seen you.
Yeah, they were like recording people, like, you know, they're like, look, people are like scanning the QR code at like oddly hours of like 10 to 1 in the morning. Like,
they must be keen.
Yeah, so I was like, they must know that something's coming. And I think putting the sign up was such a big thing for me personally, because I was like, well, this building's mine now. So no matter what happens, this gym's going to open and that signage is up now to let people know that it's coming. So yeah.
With Acton Central opening this year before Christmas, certainly before your holiday, I know that's a real milestone, and North Acton opening next year. The next 12 months are incredibly exciting for you. So if any podcast episode that we've ever done lends itself to a part 2, it's going to be with you, because we've built up to this point. If you would like to come back and we can go right into then certainly how Acton Central has delivered on numbers, and certainly then that clustering element of reciprocal access across the two sites. So certainly we'll be looking to have you back on to look at that. I think your story up to this point, it is going to really inspire people, Ishi, because you've made some brave decisions, but decisions that you fully stand behind, and that you're getting so much enjoyment and fulfillment out of. So certainly we want to come back and revisit this conversation, because it's a natural way when we've got the two clubs, and we can really dial into that. What advice, to sort of draw this episode to a close, really, if you was to give some advice to someone now that was thinking, I want to make a commitment to open a gym. Yeah. I need to find a site and I don't really know what I'm doing. What would you tell them?
I mean, speaking from like my own personal experience, if you have a village, which I really do, then use it. Because if you have lots of support behind you, and you know that if you do choose to, sell your house, whatever you decide to do, like me, that you have somewhere to go, you have a lot of support with you. And I think you should go for it. I mean, there's no other way. Like I've spoken to quite a few other people who are like, I never really thought about selling my house. I'm like, yeah, neither did I until I'd done it. And it can go either way, right? But you have to believe in what you're doing. And if I didn't believe in the brand, and I didn't believe in this was the right decision for me, then I don't know where I would be. I don't know if I'd be opening Acton Central. I might still be harping on about Pinner. Why didn't it work? Like, why are we but I think it's having shared confidence in yourself. And if I didn't have that, then maybe I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be sitting here either. But if there's one thing I can say, is that don't let anyone else even remotely divert you into thinking you're making a wrong decision, because you're not, especially if you know you're waking up every day and that's not what you're enjoying. And that's exactly what happened to me. If you're going to take the opportunity, take it with both hands while you can, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise, because you don't want to hear that. It's just noise. So yeah, that would be like my one advice. And I really do hope that, whoever does listen, and if they really want to know why I sold my house, more than happy to share. But yeah, honestly, just do what makes you happy, because if the thing you're doing is not fulfilling, then find something that really is, and believe in what you're doing. So yeah.
Amazing. So for you, what does the next couple of years look like? So if we were sat here, so I know we talk about the next 12 months is really exciting. Yeah. We've got an opening this year. We've got an opening next year. I'll tell you what, let's add another couple of years on. So if we were sat here together in 3 years' time, what would you What does that look like, and what would you have hoped to have achieved by that point?
Oh, wow. I better be open number 4 and at least thinking about 5, or open number 3 and thinking about 4 and 5. So
fantastic.
Yeah, I'm only aiming higher from here. So.
Well, you know that time in Anytime Fitness goes quicker than
it really does.
anything else.
Yeah.
We met June 24.
Yeah.
The time has flown by, and look where you are now, in such a strong position to get these clubs open. You've been a great guest. You really have. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this. As I said, there's lots that we can revisit. On behalf of myself and the brand, we wish you every success, and we are with you every step of the way to a successful opening of your first club in June. In December.
No,
don't
about
when you first joined. No, I'm not sorry. Even I can have a slip of mine just then. But we're fully behind you, and
thank you.
Excited for what the next couple of months bring. And thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks.